Welcome to Math 1314, College Algebra. I am Mr. Smith. I'll be your professor for this semester. This is my third time, I believe, getting to teach college algebra. This is my 12th year actually teaching. I love math, and you'll probably see that or hear that within all my videos. I just kind of wanted to give a little welcome to the class and a breakdown of my course. I pretty much go by the syllabus. Um, and then I'm again pretty straightforward. You're about to see the entire course layout. Um, but if you have any questions or understanding how to get around things, like, please email me. Email will be the best way to communicate with me. I've tried the discussion board and I've tried I think there's you can get me on Blackboard or something like that. I check it, but I don't receive any notifications. With the email, I get a notification pretty automatically, and I usually respond. I try to do pretty quickly, but you get at least within 24 hours. I was going to kind of quickly hit some highlights in the syllabus. So again, my name is James Smith. This is my email address. This course starts tomorrow, but I think I've seen some of you already get in. But it ends on December 16th. Again, this is a 3-hour lecture. There is no labs. You got in here because of the prerequisites. You either completed TSI Math or did remedial courses. If you have not already gotten your materials, this is the textbook that we are using. It's a college algebra with integrated review software through Hawk's learning system. Ebook and access code is required. This is the ISBN if you did opt out. I don't know where your situation is, but this is what it is. I do give 2 weeks for the first homework. Other than that, everything's usually due every Sunday, and this gives you the opportunity to grab your materials and get in time. And I believe they do offer a 2 week temporary code so that you can at least do the work and that until your stuff comes in, then links up with your code afterwards. You would have to reach out to them about that. Again, any the t technology requirements, you need internet access. You need to be able to access your email, Blackboard, and the Hawk Learning website. And then I would yeah, not only with the internet, but you need to get in to be able to get into YouTube to watch my lecture videos that kind of go with the course. You are allowed a graphing calculator. TI-84 is what's used in the textbook. When I do my demonstrations in class, I actually use the TI Inspire, but you can also use Desmos or any other type of MS Excel as well. It's very acceptable. Um, One big thing to highlight in my type of online courses, when you are doing your homework, you do not have to submit your homework to me like by paper. You just have to complete the work within Hawk's Learning. But when it comes to test in Blackboard, I will have folders for you to upload your work, and you need to upload it as a single PDF so that I can grade your actual test. All right, so that is a big thing. So make sure you're able to submit a PDF. Usually, I open the test on a Monday and it's due on a Sunday. So if you take the test on a Monday, fill out all your work, and you don't get it scanned in until Tuesday or Wednesday, that's perfectly fine. It's not one of those things you have to get it scanned in within the same day. But it is due that Sunday. So if you are taking the test on Sunday, make sure you're able to scan the documents in as well. And you can upload it through your phone once the test is done. And you should be able to get it through there as well. I think your notes on your phones can do it. Um, These are just normal things for the Gator Pack that we have to put in our syllabus. It's like $14 per semester credit hour for some of this Gator Pack stuff, but usually you've already purchased all that. These are the learning outcomes that we'll be going through this week. I'll show you where you can find this syllabus as well. I do go by this pretty well. So Week one, we'll be talking about 1.1 through 1.4. And you can see that it's not due until September the 7th, which is 2 Sundays from now. But then when you get into week two, we do 1.5 through 1.7, and that's also due on September the 7th. So you will have 7 assignments due in 2 weeks. But I only have it like that so that if you need time to get your curriculum, you can. After that, it's pretty straightforward. Every week, a new week folder will open up that Monday. It'll have the lecture videos for the homework assignments for the week. And I pretty much structure my lecture videos as I review all the main stuff in the chapter, and then I choose questions out of the exercise that goes kind of hand in hand with your online homework. So that you have my guide, you have the guide to the program, and it's all attached to the test as well. So there should be no surprises when it comes to these type of stuff. Um, again, that's pretty straightforward. Opens up on Monday, closes on Sunday. On the homework, and I'll show you this as well, you actually can access all the homework day one. So if you do want to get ahead, you can. The only issue is my videos come in every week. So it's not all available at once. My videos come in that Monday to help you for the lessons for that day. But if you wanted to self-teach yourself, you do have that opportunity. Then you have your first test on September the 22nd. It'll be due on September 28th. Again, this will be your first one where you have to upload your work, and all of my tests are also in Hawks Learning. So your homework, your test, and your final exam, and then there's a project at the end I'll talk about here in a second, but I'll talk about that more when we get closer to it. But then that's it. That's all you really got. There is 43 homework assignments in total, and I did the percentage. Every homework is about 0.45 points of your overall grade. So if you do miss one or two, it's not a detriment to your grade. However, if you repetitively keep missing the due dates, that is definitely going to hurt your grade. And I say that because I don't accept late work. Again, all the homework is already open to you right now, and has its set due date. So there should be no reason to not get your work done on time. Um, and if you fail to get it done on time, it will be a zero, regardless if you got it turned in at 12:01 the next day. Um, I'm just a stickler like that. Other than that, though, it's open, so it's you're at your pace, or you can go with the course as well. Same concept with the test and the work itself. You don't turn in the work, you don't get a test grade as well. So I have to have the work as a PDF. So don't throw your work away. That's another big thing that happens. So again, make sure you are available to take those tests over chapter one and two. The second test comes up after fall break. If you didn't know this, the school is closed from the 20th to the 26th of October. I have nothing planned for that week, so you'll actually see that the homework that's opened up on 10/13 won't be due until that Sunday. So you actually have 2 weeks to get these 4 assignments in, but then we'll return and there'll be our second test over chapters 3, 4, and 5. Again, you can see it's open from the 27th and due on November the 2nd. The third test, there it is, opens up on December 1st and closes on the 7th. The critical thinking assignment project, I will open it up on the 17th of November, and it won't be due until November 7th. So you get about 3 weeks or more to complete the assignment, and I'll explain more when we get there. Thanksgiving is the 26th and 27th, so there will be 2 assignments that Monday and Tuesday is kind of how I have it kind of planned for you to be able to do, but it won't be due until that Sunday, so you can either knock it out before Thanksgiving or you can knock it out at the end of Thanksgiving, but we are still open during Thanksgiving week that Monday and Tuesday. Final exam is opened up on the 8th, due on the 15th. So you get about 8 days to do that. Another thing I forgot to mention, all of my test and final exams, I do open up a practice test as well. They open up the Friday before the test opens up. The practice tests are not a grade, and you can take it as many times as you want, unlimited time, amount of time on it. Um, I do that so that you can not be surprised at the platform of it. Um, and I mean, I want you to be successful, so I'm trying to throw as much of the stuff I can at you. A couple other things to note as well. Test one is about 20 questions, and I give you about 2 hours to take it. That does not mean it's a 2 hour test. I just hate when time is an issue, but if you're not done within 2 hours, you just haven't grasped the concepts well enough. The test two and three are about 30 questions, and I gave you about 3 hours to do it. There is no pausing, so once you do start the test, plan to finish the test. It does have Rhombus lockdown browser, so when you get into Hoxler, and I'll show you this as well, go ahead and run it to make sure that you already have everything downloaded so you're ready to go to take your test. But it will be a lockdown browser. I do have a calculator embedded in the test platform, so you will have that, but nothing else will be able to open up on your computer. Um, I think that's about it on that part. Final exam, same concept. I have a practice final. Again, those are not a test grade, but the purpose of them is to help you see what the test will look like before the test gets here. No, they're not the same questions. I get that a lot, but they are similar. The end of the course, so the final is due on the 15th. Technically, the course does end on the 16th. So basically, we'll be done on the 15th. Everything will be in, and I'll get my grades in for you and post it for you as on the 16th. Again, here's the major assessment schedule for your test one, two, and three, and the critical thinking that will open up mid-November, and then the final exam, again, final exam again. All my tests open up at 12 a.m. that Monday and due at 11:55 p.m. that Sunday. I had one student say that he was in the middle of it and it was 11:56. I have to do 11:55 because we don't have an option for 59. So do make sure you're getting it in, and please don't wait till the last second to take a test, especially the first one. The rest of this is pretty straightforward. Again, Lone Star, or not Lone Star, Lamar State College Orange email. Use that to message me. That'll be the best. Um, for an online course, make sure you're logging in daily. I post 2 to 4 videos a week. Best advice I can give you, open it up on Monday, watch a video, do the homework that follows it the next day, do the next one, and then you can be done before the weekend each week, and you don't gotta stress. Again, final makeup work policy. I do have 2 extra credit opportunities. One of those is if the final exam is better than one of your first 3 tests, I will replace your lowest test grade with the final. So a couple things, if you just end up having a bad day and you didn't realize like how the test structure is, and you just bombed it, no biggie. As long as you do good on the next 2, the final will replace that the bad one. Another thing too, let's say you just had a week, so when the test opened up, you just never got a chance to take the test, you will receive a 0, but the final will replace one of those tests that you might have missed. You missed 2, it's I don't got much I can help you with on that one. But it does have that. The second thing I do is you'll get a survey at the end of the year. As long as you complete it, I replace your one of your homeworks with a 100. I did have a few students who never missed a homework assignment, so I gave them 5 extra points on their lowest test grade, which typically is going to be part of that low test grade, the final probably replaced or anything like that. So if it ends up being your lowest test grade ends up being the final and the other test, then that's 5 points for each. Again, big thing, and I put this in again. All exams are online and you must scan your work in. Failure to do so will result in a 0 on the test. So again, make sure you keep all of your work and then you will scan your work into me before that Sunday. There will be a Dropbox folder in Blackboard. So the test is in Hawks Learning, but the test work you drop off in Blackboard. Be responsible with AI if you use it. I don't recommend using it on your homework too much because on the test you won't have access. Um, They recommend if it's a 3 hour course, plan to spend 6 to 9 hours outside of class. I would argue more 3 to 6, but just depends on if you're comfortable with the content or not. My grading policy here, again, to get a 100 on your homework, you just have to make between a 70 and an 80, depending on how many questions there are. Then once you get a 70 to 80, you'll receive a 100 for that assignment. You are able to continue to look at the work past the due date. You can redo problems, rework problems. You can keep that stays open constantly. So you can use that as a study tool as well. I also, again, put in there, since it's overall 20% of your grade, each homework's about 0.5%. So again, you missed two, you just lost a point overall. So don't try to make that a practice. There's only 43 homework assignments you have to do. It sounds like a lot, but in a 16-week course, 43 is you're averaging roughly about three homeworks a week, right? Maybe less than that, really. Um, Again, there's 3 unit exams. They comprise of about 50% of your overall grade. Again, submission of work will be required. Final exam is 20% of your overall grade. All of these will be taken in Hawks, and submission of work is required. The critical thinking assignment that will come up in November is about 10% of your total grade, and you'll also submit your work in through Blackboard on that one as well. Assignment grades are like this. If you do make an 89.5, I will give you an A. If you make an 89.4, you will get a B. Um, and the reason is again, I give you the extra credit for the final exam and for the survey. If that wasn't enough to bump you up, then you weren't at that close of a range to begin with. Um, so that's kind of where I feel about that. Again, I do respond within 24 hours. I'm actually faster than that normally. The only thing that it does come up, if you email me on the weekends, I might not get back to you until Monday. So I do recommend that you look at the stuff Monday through Friday, so that when you do need my help, you're not emailing me on Saturday and I'm responding after the fact. I do try to look periodically on the weekend, but that is not a guarantee, especially on holiday weekends. Again, review of test grades. You'll be able to review your grade. If you have arguments about your grade, reach out and let me know. We can discuss it. If I feel that's a fair argument, I have been known to give points back, but it has to be a fair argument. Um, Everything in here, I have the ability to change, but I don't unless we have a disaster of some sort that happens and I have to push things back or anything like that. Again, the textbook material is required. You do have student support services. All this is in the syllabus. Um, don't think there's really anything else I added to it that pertains specifically to me. Watch out for drops. Usually this is a student's first math class, so do realize you're only allowed three W's on your, or sorry, six W's on your transcript before you have to take the F. So think twice before just dropping. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yes. All right. So let me switch over here. Make sure y'all switch with me. And I did. Okay. So this is what you'll see. I can see a student preview for you, but it'll say 2025 Fall Math 1314 82D College Algebra Dual Credit. In here, you'll see course information introduction. In here, the course syllabus is right here. You can click on it and you can see exactly what I just showed you now. You can print it off. Again, this right here, I'm very specific. So if you're like, hey, I got a lot of stuff going on that week, you can try to get ahead, but this is what's going to be done that week. So you'll always know. The rest of this is just materials that you utilize to help you out. The next thing you'll see is this thing called Hawks Learning. If you click on Hawks Learning, it'll automatically sign you in once you put your access code. So at this point, it'll ask for your access code, you put it in, and then you're automatically in. This is what your course will look like. So again, you'll see there's 52 total assignments in a 16-week span. I know that sounds like a lot, but it just really isn't. Not in math. There's a lot of practicing. But you can actually start all of the assignments today if you wanted to. Um, Again, if I go in there and I view the course, I'll see my to-do list. I see that this is going to be in week one, this is in week two, this is in week four, and so on and so on. So again, you can go ahead and see every week. You see the due dates for it. You can break it down by lessons if you just want all the lessons. You can see the web tests are already there. So the practice tests are not grades, but the actual tests are. This is just to prepare you for the tests to come. But they don't open up right away. So they open up that practice tests are the Fridays before the start of the test. So you'll see that it does have due dates, but it's not a grade. But one thing I would recommend that you do is go into this test here and go ahead and make sure you've downloaded and you can launch the lockdown browser before the test gets here, so that you are prepared and there's no hiccups when you're about to take your test. There is this other here, and this is a critical thing in assignment. This is where you'll actually upload your, sorry, this is actually where I'll put the grade as well. But this is where we'll get more into details with that. All right. So again, this is your course. And it's a pretty straightforward course. If I jump back over here, so you'll see that week one is already open. Usually I don't open it up until Monday, but again, I saw some of you have already been logged in, and I didn't know y'all had access until today. Um, but here it is, and this is basically how it's ran. I have week one, week two, week three, and then I have videos that go with each homework assignment for that week. So you just click on it, and it'll take you here, and then you just click on this, and it'll take you to my YouTube videos that I create and upload for y'all to watch. Depending on how quickly I can get them in, you might catch some of them before they're released. That's fine too. There's always a loophole. But this is also where any tests will be. So if we're taking test one, there'll be a folder here for you to drop off your work. So you would just click on that and then upload your work that way. I think I actually attach it to a form that says I submitted my work, it's uploaded correctly, and you just hit yes, and then you're good to go. If again, failure to do so will result in a zero. So make sure you get that in. That's an easy task. So that's it. Again, you'll see weeks and weeks as you go. You can create a discussion. I've tried it in the past. I just don't get to it. I don't get notifications. So by the time I check it, the questions have come and gone. Grade book is pretty straightforward. You'll see all of the assignments from Hawks Learning. As you finish them, I believe they should automatically go right into Blackboard. If they don't, I'll do those by hand. That's not too big of a deal. But you'll see all the different assignments and tests are all there already. So I'll keep up with your grades in Hawks Learning and in Blackboard, so you go to keep up with that as well. All right. Again, that's pretty much the straightforwardness of my course. Again, each week videos appear, homework's due for that Sunday. There's no surprises. Everything that the syllabus is on is how I run my course. Um, I'm available on by email. I love answering y'all's questions. It makes the discussion of the course go by a lot better as well. I find myself when you'll ask me questions, writing the work down on a napkin wherever I'm at, and then maybe sending it to you by email as well to help you out. Um, but other than that, that's pretty much my course in a nutshell. I'm really excited to teach this with y'all. But as y'all go through it and y'all have questions, y'all just feel free to let me know. Until the next video, guys.